My name is Dr. Nida Ali. I'm Divisional Surveillance Officer Islamabad, working for World Health Organization. I'm a surveillance officer, so surveillance is basically aimed at detecting every last transmission of polio virus. Polio is highly contagious and highly infectious viral illness. The source of transmission is very simple. It's waterborne disease and there's fecal-oral route of transmission. But the fascinating thing is that this can be prevented by very simple vaccination, and not only prevented, this can be eradicated. We are going to go to a site where we are going to collect environmental sample, which is basically a sample from sewage. We just grab flowing sewage and we transfer 1 liter of that concentrated sewage into a jerry can, and then we put that can into cold chain in a box with ice packs, and then we transport that box to the lab, and then that water is tested for presence of poliovirus.
My name is Dr. Salman Sharif. I'm working as a molecular biologist and lab coordinator in WHO Regional Reference Laboratory, Pakistan. This is considered to be one of the best labs in the global polio lab network, and it is appreciated everywhere in the world and also appreciated by the Director General of WHO. This laboratory serves for 2 countries. One is Pakistan and other one is Afghanistan. So all the stool samples from the human sources, and similarly with the environmental surveillance, they comes into this laboratory. We pull out the virus from the sample. We go for the molecular testing to find out whether it is a vaccine virus or it is a wild virus, that is a disease-causing virus, so that the field people, they vaccinate the children and protect the children against this virus, and the virus will be killed in the environment.
As a surveillance officer, we have to look for every last chain of transmission of poliovirus. Whenever a child is reported to us as a case of acute flaccid paralysis, we track them down and we visit the child wherever he is. We examine the child and we make sure that he fits into the definition of acute flaccid paralysis. And if the child fits into this definition, then we go for stool testing. Through this testing, we determine whether the child has polio or not. Surveillance activities are important because for any country to have polio-free certification, we need to be absolutely sure that there are no remaining polio cases. We cannot be missing polio cases and claiming to be polio-free. NEOC is National Emergency Operations Center. What we have here is basically people from government, people from partner agencies. We all work on the same agenda, that is polio eradication, and we all sit in the same office working towards polio eradication.
I'm Dr. Abdurrahman Mahmoud, based here at the National Emergency Operations Center for Polio Eradication, leading the operation unit. Global polio eradication is a coalition of key partners that came together from 1988, when the World Health Assembly launched polio eradication. The main partners are World Health Organization, UNICEF, Rotary, Center for Disease Control from US, and the Bill Melinda Gates Foundation. And of course, the donor community, particularly all the key donors across the world. So we have multi-donor, multi-agency working together under the government leadership to achieve the global goal of polio eradication.
hope for the future is that no child should ever be paralyzed by a disease that is preventable by a simple vaccination, simple oral vaccination. We have made tremendous progress, but we still have kind of a long way to go. My personal motivation is to definitely make the world a better place and to live in a world that is free of polio and where I can say safely that no child is ever going to be paralyzed by this infectious disease. I really hope that one day my 4-year-old child, he grows up and I can tell him that there used to be a disease called polio and he reads about it in books. For example, my generation read about smallpox in books only. This is a disease that was eradicated. So hopefully in future we may be able to say this about polio, that it's no more.
End polio.
End polio.
End polio.